Tiny SEBOKO knew she wanted to be a lawyer from when she was a teenager and would watch law dramas with her policeman father. She worked as a court interpreter at age 19, studied law and became a prosecutor. Now she's an acting judge.
I think the trajectory of my life was really shaped by the years that I lived in Kliptown. I come from a family of 6 children, and we all lived in one room. I know of that life where you have to put the tables on top of a chair to make, to make your makeshift bed underneath the table for space.
SEBOKO says her family's poverty meant that she had no access to sanitary products.
I come from a place where I know that as a young girl, every cotton item, T-shirts and soft shirts, those things, no matter how worn they were, how torn and bad, when you're supposed to be throwing them in the bin or just putting them in a fire, you had to put them aside, stack them somewhere in the corner, because those are your sanitary pads.
Other families were not even fortunate enough to use T-shirts, she says.
In the toilets, which were communal, which were shared by 10, 15, 20 families, you would always find the phone book in there because it was softer than the newspaper. So it was either newspaper or phone book.
Like SEBOKO, TV personality and activist GERRY ELSDON knows what it's like to grow up with very little and how that deprivation impacts on teenage girls.
Because Mum was only able to afford 1 pack of pads a month, we were 5 women and 1 pack of pads. Someone was going to be without. And so I often found myself with not having enough. And you get embarrassed, you keep your pad on for way longer than you should. I must be blatant and honest, no matter who finds this grotesque, because it's the reality of the situation.
ELSDON is now an activist for Caring for Girls, an organization that currently provides sanitary products for 270,000 girls. Both she and SEBOKO are passionate about ensuring that poverty is not a barrier to young women having access to these products.
We want to create environments where our girls carry themselves with dignity, with self-confidence, with self-pride. And yet we're stripping them of this one thing that they have little and no control over. When you have a girl stand up at a school, a girl from a deep rural village in KwaZulu-Natal, when you have a girl stand up and say to you, "Thank you for coming to my rural village. Thank you for coming to my school. I've never used a sanitary towel. This would be my first sanitary towel." It just doesn't make sense.
For both these women, their success demands that they don't sit back and accept that disadvantaged girls must experience menstruation as often unhygienic and humiliating. For them, there must be a better way, and they are fighting for it. KARYN, Johannesburg.